say that because not to
Is that the
spoil
future?
even more of Bandersnatch, but there are moments where it's not just choose like yes or no. You have to enter your own code.
Yeah, like you have to like type things in.
Yeah. So
I got 2 of those.
Yeah, so did I. But I wonder if there are hidden things like that where, like, if you've been paying attention to the story, you'll know the codes that you need to type
Yeah, if
in
you
order
type
to
in the
progress.
right thing to
Yeah.
unlock stuff.
But if you were, like, even more hyper aware of, like, how Bandersnatch is made or even, like, hidden secrets, Easter eggs, if you type in those, you'll get to endings that no one's ever seen yet.
Well, I think,
Isn't that
as
what they
I
did?
recall, there's a thing with the director and one of the writers, I might be lying about that, where they were talking about Easter eggs that they put into it and shot that even they couldn't figure out how to get to.
Yeah.
That they were trying to unlock while
Well,
watching the final, and they couldn't get to
Have
it.
you guys watched the rest of Black Mirror?
Watched most of it, not all of
Most
it.
of it.
Most, not quite all. Maybe all.
Yeah,
Not
there
quite.
are a ton of Easter eggs to every other episode of Black Mirror.
I bet.
Mm-hmm.
But they speculate that there are even Easter eggs referring to season 5, which is coming out later
Yeah.
this year. So it's like
Heard
it's
that.
referencing stuff that hasn't happened yet. That are probably going to be the plots of 1 or 2 episodes for season 5.
Black Mirror is
Starring
such a
Miley
fucking
Cyrus, which is
mindfuck.
great.
Yeesh.
I was watching someone have it explained to them the other day that, like, Black Mirror is about your phone, and it just, like, blew their fucking mind.
What do you mean?
The Black Mirror is your phone when it's locked.
It's Black Mirror.
When you go to
Shows
pick up your phone. That's the Black Mirror right there.
The Black Mirror.
Is that really what it's referencing?
I don't know if it's been confirmed, but there's a whole thing about how they think that's, like...
Or like that's her TV?
like, it's the screen in front of you.
Screens.
And I honestly don't know if that's been confirmed by
That's
the writers,
Fucking awesome.
but there's this whole thing
That's
about
pretty
it.
awesome.
It would fit with the whole technology.
Yeah,
theme.
exactly. Like, that's why there's... Again, I do not know if it's been confirmed. Maybe it has, and I'm just behind the times. But I know it's, like, a general kind of, like, fan theory.
Well, yeah,
That,
it's like
Black Mirror is your... Whatever screen you're watching it on in front of you is your personal Black Mirror.
Yeah, technology controls you, so like you're watching it on technology.
Yeah.
God, it's so fucking meta. God damn
So
it.
meta. I love it.
Oh, you sent me
And
the
I'm
list
glad.
of the music things,
I
not
sent
the
you
other
you
one.
the video game one, too.
And the other one?
Yeah, because I said I was also thinking. And then you went, exactly.
Sounds like something I would say. Yeah, I found it.
There you go.
I wish there was like a search function for text messages where you're just like.
There is.
But
I'm
I
sure
have
there
a
is.
question for you guys, though, going back to the subject of video games.
Yes, sorry. That was Bandersnatch was my random side by side.
Yeah.
We were talking about how movies have influenced video games and how they've become more cinematic.
Mm-hmm.
But what about the flip side?
That's
So
what I
you
was
have-
saying earlier. I think that certain movies are so
There's a lot of that.
enfranchised that there are sequences that are clearly designed to convert easily to a video game format.
But what about video games that have been adapted into movies? How do we feel about those? Are there any good ones? Are they mostly
There
bad?
are
Resident Evil.
not
I'm gonna say Resident Evil.
many good
It's
ones.
a solid.
Solid. I agree. There's not many good
I
ones.
agree there's not many good ones, but I'm gonna
I'm
say
s-
Resident
I'm
Evil video game
Trying
movie.
to think of more than that.
I'm gonna give it 2.
Uh,
The earlier ones more than the newer ones.
Yeah, I'll agree with that, but I don't know.
Um,
I refuse to believe that Mila Jovovich is a even remotely good actress.
I mean, yeah, but she looks hot in
She
a tight
doesn't
leather
have
suit, and
to
that's
be.
what most of
In
her
those type of
jobs-
movies, she doesn't have to be.
She doesn't
have to be.
Did you see
feels-
Eon Flux? Who
Yeah.
cared what was going on
Can
in
we
there?
also discuss that everything
Just
she's in,
flips
she's just in
around.
tight black leather?
She's just in the tight, in the
Including-
cat suit every time,
Yeah.
spinning around, cutting off heads or whatever she does.
Including What's Its Face with Hugh Jackman. That's great.
Hugh
Les
Jackman.
Miserables.
No, the like werewolf
the-
vampire terrible movie.
The Greatest
X-Men?
Showman.
The- no, it's
Oh.
Fuck, why can't I think of
The
the
one
name
with
of this movie suddenly?
Keira Knightley instead.
No.
Van Helsing?
Underworld.
Van Helsing.
She's not
Oh.
in Van Helsing.
She is.
She's not.
She is.
I
She's
swear to God.
What's her face then?
It's Kate
Oh,
Beckinsale.
that's right. See,
Oh.
they look similar.
You're talking about my favorite movie ever. With not Carl.
Wait,
Yeah,
which
your favorite.
Underworld
With
or
David Wenham
Van
from
Helsing.
Lord of the Rings and
Yeah.
and
Wait, Van
Iron
Helsing is your
Fist fame.
favorite
Yeah.
movie ever?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, those three
Sorry, Kate
vampire witches
Beckinsale,
were
my
fucking
bad.
hot.
They were fucking hot.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Their accents were they were rough.
Oh yeah, spine tingling. But they were hot. I'll give you that.
But I guess it's enough.
Sorry, Kate Beckinsale, my bad. They play very similar characters.
Yeah, I mean, what's
Didn't
the
they
difference?
replace each other in a franchise once? I might
What?
be lying about that. I'm trying to think.
Well, I know Kate Beckinsale played a very similar character in Underworld,
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know that, but I'm trying to. I think they like
where she
swapped out
was a
once.
vampire.
She was.
She flipped
The
sides.
irony. She flipped sides.
But that was more
Um.
successful than Van Helsing.
But I love Van Helsing. Guilty pleasure, no shame. It's just entertaining. I watched it like 3 weeks ago. Well,
No,
drunk.
it's-
It's entertaining
it's
and
fun.
magical. But yeah, okay, so Resident Evil and Mila, what's her face?
Mila
Jovovich or something like that.
That one.
Yeah.
Jovovich.
See, it's bad because I immediately go to Djokovic, but I know
Bandersnatch.
that's like the tennis player, so I know I'm wrong.
Wemblings, or whatever your other thing was.
But
Wendigos.
Sure.
Mandingos.
Oh.
But you have
Okay.
you have Tomb Raider, you have Hitman, you have the legendary Super Mario Brothers movie.
Oof.
You have
That's, you know,
I don't even.
that's just
Angry
something
Birds
that
movie.
happened. We're not sure what happened there.
you got the Angry Birds movie.
Oh, I forgot about that.
You got
That can't be, yeah, okay.
what else?
Rio, also.
What?
Was Rio a game?
Rio is Angry Birds 2, essentially. I mean, before there was Angry Birds 2, there was Rio.
Oh, then
Birds with they throw stuff at each other.
I think Rio was its own movie.
I don't know. I don't know, man.
No, wait.
Like 90% positive.
Okay, no. I'm getting it backwards because Angry Birds Rio was an expansion of
Yeah,
Angry Birds
there you go.
2,
I was like, but I'm pretty sure Rio is its
and
own.
So Angry Birds stole from
Sorry.
Rio,
Yeah.
and then they're gonna turn Angry Birds Rio into a movie where the
Oh
characters
my
meet.
god.
is that why there are so many cars and planes movies? Like, what the hell happened there?
I've never seen any of those
No,
movies.
no
but I
one
don't
has.
want
Like,
to.
who, unless you have kids. Like,
You don't like Mater from fucking Cars with Larry the Cable Guy?
no,
What?
it's horrible.
What? Mater from Cars. He's a
I've never
pickup truck
seen
with.
Cars.
He's a hillbilly pickup truck. He's voiced by Larry the Cable Guy. He says "get her done" and like, I don't know if he actually does that, but I'm sure that's like
Uses
his
his own
thing.
catchphrase.
I'm pretty sure the car is
Nice.
also wearing a checkerboard shirt with no sleeves. You know?
Right? As you do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Never seen Cars, so
You're not missing.
I
don't
know
need
I'm
to.
uncivilized swine in the film industry.
Yeah. Agreed.
I'm aware.
No,
I know.
think,
I know.
I think the more and more you do it, the less and less you get to watch.
Just like the fact that I've worked on a TV show for 2 years and I've never seen an episode of it.
Exactly.
Yep. Same here.
I tried to watch. It's
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I love
Cut
those
the
guys.
black.
I love everyone
See,
who
in my
works
defense,
there.
I worked on and I have never even tried to watch it, so I can't say that's why I don't watch it. I was just a cable bitch on it.
I'm gonna
and
refrain
that's
from
literally
saying
what
my
everything
show,
says.
but I
No,
also
yeah,
You're
don't
better than
don't
us.
say your show.
I've
It's okay, I
also
lost
seen-
records on. I'll never know.
Well,
I feel like everyone's worked at some point.
Exactly.
Everyone on this city has been on.
Everyone.
well, eventually you will. It's kind of like meeting Alec Baldwin. It'll happen
Oh,
at some
God.
point. He's around.
We're speaking of. We're actually filming at Arkham on my show, and I've been there for the past week.
You mean that
prepping.
hospital up in
Yeah.
Bumfuck, where
Oh, yeah.
like Brownsville or wherever that is?
No, yeah, it's
It's
my favorite place in
Where is that?
Staten Island. Yeah, I've been there all week. It's been great. We found out where they keep the actual crazy people.
Oh,
It's on the higher up floors in the hospital.
okay.
Still active. There's totally still crazy people
There's
walking
crazy people
around.
Wow.
in there.
Yeah.
Well,
See, I was
there's
shooting
more
in a
now that
psych
there's
ward and I got
film
locked
people
in
in
one
there.
time. But it wasn't an active psych ward. I got locked in an abandoned psych ward on a shoot, and they didn't find me for 4.5 hours.
That's
Yay.
not
I
good.
think I've told you that story before. Yeah, I gave one of
We
my
all-
crew members a heart attack to
Why?
get found.
Because
Yeah.
Because the way I had to get their attention was throwing a brick into a parking lot while one of my guys was on a smoke break and screaming. So we were shooting in a notoriously haunted hospital that was condemned and being torn down like 2 weeks later.
yeah.
And I got locked in the psych ward through a long story that I'll spare you from for the moment. And I was in there for like 4.5 hours, and I couldn't get out through any windows because they were all barred and all the doors were locked. So my only way out was through the morgue, which connected to other buildings, but I didn't really want to take the chance of like going through the underground morgue system and getting just locked in there because that
you
seemed
don't-
a much worse
You don't
plan.
want to choose that adventure.
Yeah.
I was like, at least in this building, someone knows I was in this building. If I go into the morgue tunnels, like,
You're gone.
fuck knows.
You disappear.
So I finally found a window where the bars were, like, separated enough and the glass was already broken that I could, like, reach through to throw a brick. And it was, like, facing the parking lot where our crew cars were.
Yeah.
So I, like, went to throw a brick, hoping to hit a dumpster, but I missed because it's really hard to throw accurately, like,
Through
between
bars.
bars. Like,
Yeah.
that's not, like, the most...
Yeah.
No,
You know.
That's just tricky.
the ideal position. So I threw and I missed the dumpster, so I was like, fuck. But then I realized one of the guys was out on a smoke break because he'd come over to hear what he'd heard crash in the parking lot.
Yeah.
So I just like screamed at the top of my lungs. So all he heard was a crashing sound and then got there to just someone screaming from the locked up abandoned insane asylum.
Yeah. So
And he had a heart attack. But fortunately, he went and told people, and then they came and set me free.
I wish you had to change your pants with him. Sounds like he shit himself.
Oh, yeah, it was rough.
Mhm.
Anyway.
We never get haven't gotten to our like nightmare or war stories segment in a while.
Oh, God.
But it's like it's kind of too painful sometimes. Like I kind of don't want to do it right
Mine is getting locked in a notoriously haunted insane asylum
That's
with no
pretty
power
now. Bad.
between the hours of 2 a.m. and 6:30 in the morning before anyone being able to find me.
Hmm.
Yeah, I know.
That was
but-
pretty... And I was in my cast at the time. And there was no power in the building. So,
How
that was
did you
a
end up in
nightmare.
this situation?
Well, okay, so there's power in some of the building, but they'd already started deconstructing the hospital. Like, they'd already started, like, demoing it. So there was, like, kind of power in some of the main hallways, but, like, not really, and most of it was just, like, rubble where they were, like, tearing down walls and from taking out equipment. And we were shooting on the whole hospital complex, and I was doing prosthetics, and I had to get, like, 9 people through prosthetics, and I was alone. So basically, instead of being on set for touch-ups, it was, like, putting someone through prosthetics, sending them with the PA to get to location,
Ah.
like starting the next person, sending them with
The
someone.
old
Sorry.
pack and toss.
Yeah, like basically what was happening.
Yeah.
And I got called, and this was like super low budget, nobody filmed. There was like 12 of us in the entire crew. Like, nobody kind of project. And so yeah, I was like in the one building where we were holding, and I was making zombies, and I got called on walkie to like come to location to do a touch-up because there was a prosthetic edge lifting, and they just were like, oh, just cover it in blood and then get back to what you're doing. And I was working on my last zombie at the time, who was almost done with. So a PA came, like, ran into me on my way. I was like, oh, like, I'll take you to where we're shooting. And they were shooting in the psych ward. So I was like, okay, cool. So we went, and the door was being held open with a cinder block. And I went up to, like, the 4th floor where they were shooting. I did my touch-up.
And the block
And they
was-
were like... No, so they were like, oh, like, are you good? Like, can you get back on your own? Because they needed the PA to, like, hold a bounce or something. And I was like, yeah, I'm fine. Like, this is a pretty straight shot. So I, like, was going back down, and I went back down, and the block was moved, so the door was shut. So I was locked in. So I was like, okay, like, I'll just go back up to location and, like, chill with these guys, or, like go out with them. So I went back up to where we were filming, and they were gone.
Oh.
There's
And
actually
so then
a
I
lot
went
of
to call
I don't
on-
mean to interrupt, but there are a lot of stories that have that element of like, yeah, and then I went back to that door that we had propped open with a rock, and the rock was gone.
Rock was gone.